What's up? What's up? What's poppin'? Hey, yo, it's Nate Dogg 916 coming at you live from Sacramento. Hey, y'all know what to do, man. Hit that like, that subscribe, and notification bell if you want to keep catching my content. I appreciate all the new subscribers, and I appreciate everybody that came back. Don't forget to share my stuff, man. Share my videos, man. Share my videos. Today, I want to preface this or begin this by saying that there is absolutely nothing to brag about or to be happy about doing prison time. Going to prison is not good. It hurts your families. It hurts your loved ones. It hurts more than just you that doing the time. So let me put that out there first. I'm not glorifying what I'm talking about. I'm just giving you information. I'm just telling you the truth. So a lot of times you got people that are in prison or do prison time, and they come out with this attitude, that machismo, that turned upness, like, oh, I just did time, da da da. And back when cats was young, you know, that worked. You know, you see the older homies coming home from prison, and you be like, oh man, homie just got out of prison, you know. But then now that I've done my time, I've learned that it's levels to this stuff. Not just the levels that you can go to, like 1, 2, 3, and 4 max, right? But there's levels to doing time. There's a lot of different kinds of time that can be done. First and foremost, just because somebody did a bunch of time, that don't mean they did a bunch of good time, or what as far as prison lingo would be considered a good time. You didn't do no stand-up time. Now, if somebody tells me that they did 10 years, 15 years, whatever, and shout out to Rascal, a homie hangout, because he brought this up in his live today. When somebody says how much time they did, you gotta inquire, like, okay, well, where did you do that time at? And for those of us who know, we know what yards were up, what prisons was popping, what prisons was. It was a different way of doing time. Doing time on a 180 level 4 in California in my time was a lot different. The structure was different. The discipline had to be different. You had to conduct yourself a certain way, right? And like Rascal said this morning, he said that when I find out someone like me, who did 18 years all on a level 4, I have a certain expectation of how they should behave and how they should conduct themselves and carry themselves. Because if you tell me you did 20 years in prison in all level 4, I would never expect to see you hooping and hollering, talking reckless and threatening people all online or anywhere, actually, you know, even in person. I'd expect you to realize and understand that when it's time to go, it's time to go. And when it's not time to go, it ain't time to talk about it at all. You know, period. A lot of jaw jacking, a lot of cell soldiering, a lot of, you know, fat mouthing. That's not something I would expect somebody who did all this time on a level 4. Now, I really don't know personally what it's like to be on a level 3 or 2 or 1, but I've heard a lot of stories about level 3s, level 2s, level 1s, minimums, camps. I've heard the stories, and from the stories I've heard, level 3, I've heard that it gets popping on the 3s too. So you got to be careful. Level 3 ain't nothing but one jump down from the 4. So I hear you get a lot more space. You get a lot more room. You get night yard, obviously, something I've never had. You get night yard. You walk to chow hall still. You don't just get cell fed like in a level 4. I mean, we had chow halls at first, but then they took that away and started cell feeding us all. But then from what I've heard and what I can imagine, that once you go down to 2 and 1, you go to this dorm living, it's just wide open. The structure and the politics are turned down, and the structure and the discipline is turned down. You get a lot of horse playing on the yard, and sex playing, and all the bull crap that comes with playing. Period. 180 level 4 it's just a more serious environment for the most part. I'm not saying that there isn't any horseplay going on at all, or anybody that's not all the way disciplined like they should be, but it's far and few between from my experience. Most people in the yard are serious because it's a serious place, and it could end up being a life and death situation. So when people brag all this bragging about I did time, it's like, okay, but what kind of time did you do? Like on the criminal side of it, on the timer side of it, it's like, it's not nothing to glorify, but somebody that can say they held it down and did their stuff and walked a 4 yard for their whole bid. Unfortunately, if you have to stay in a 4 yard your whole bid, that's because you kept getting in trouble. Your points wasn't dropping. And that's with me. That's what happened with me. My points didn't drop much until the end of my time, till like my last 4 years they dropped. But I was already so high up in points that it wouldn't have got down to level 3 anyway. But the point of that to say is when you're listening to people tell these stories, and these people that can't even go back to their own neighborhoods, and if they do, they're hanging out with people that aren't really about that life. You know, you going out. Yeah, I'm in my hood, but you in your hood in the middle of the daytime with a bunch of old people. Like, you're not good no more, or you know what I'm saying. You can even people that are good in their hood still. You come and you brag to these teenagers about how much time you just did. These teenagers don't know nothing about prison. So you're glorifying this and making it look good. Like, oh, I just did this, that. Yeah, we had this in there, that in there. But none of that is something you should be proud of, and showing these youngsters as an example, because then now they're looking like, oh, it's cool there. That's where the homies at. Let's go up. Let's go there. Stop glorifying this crap. There ain't nothing glorious about going to prison. Tell them how hard it was in there. Tell them how bad it was in there. Tell them how you was always worried about watching your back in there. How you was worried about not only the enemies, the ops, the other races, the racial tension, but your own homeboys trying to snake you out position. You know what I mean? You never hear those stories. And those are the stories these youngsters need to hear. It's not a cool place to go. It's not a cool place to be. It's not. Your mama gonna miss you. Half your family, if you do a lot of time, half your family gonna be either dead and gone or moved on with their life by the time you came home. Like I said, man, hey, y'all can listen to whoever y'all want, man. I'm gonna just tell you the truth, man. Stay loyal.